Friday is finally here. That means you get bets with me, Tyler Fulghum, and our prop queen, my homegirl, Anita Marks, in the house. Ready to take us on into the weekend. Hopefully your pockets will be a little bit fatter so you have some money to gamble on the golf course. We have a jam-packed show here, reaction or no action, diamond dollars. We need to get back on track, Anita Marks. Our buddy Eric Moody going to join us as well as we dive headfirst into some season-long props in the National Football League. You saw there while I was chit-chatting, youtube.com/ESPN Sports Betting. Go there now if you are not already watching on that platform and subscribe. Anita, how you doing on this Friday, girl? You ready to rock and roll?
Let's do it.
All right, let's dive right in. Reaction or no action is how we get started, lady in red. Speaking of red, the Arizona Cardinals. And I guess you could say Kyler Murray, their quarterback, even though he just got paid. If you heard his press conference after that contract came out, he was maybe a little red with angry because people were questioning whether or not he was putting enough time into the film studies as he tried to QB this team. Of course, that stipulation, if you haven't heard, removed now after the fact that he put his John Hancock on it from that multi-$100 million contract. So reaction or no action, removing the film study clause has you more bullish on Kyler?
I'm reacting here. Like, there's so many things to unpack here. Like, did you not know that this was in your contract? Did you not read your contract? Did your agent not tell you that this was a stipulation in your contract? Yeah, it's embarrassing. The fact that, oh, you can't be on your phone. Oh, you can't be playing video games. Oh, you can't. Listen, here's a reality check. Like, this is today's age NFL. I've had several conversations with coaches throughout the league. In fact, they have broken up meetings where instead of like a 3-hour meeting, they have to schedule 2 1.5-hour meetings because they can't keep guys off their cell phones for longer than 3 hours. So don't play coy. Don't say that this is an embarrassment. This is the day and age of the NFL, but the fact that this has to be in a contract for a quarterback, I understand like a diva wide receiver. But a quarterback who's your field general, man, reaction here. I am fading the Cardinals. Big red flag here from me, Tyler.
Yeah, I'm no action, and maybe, it's the same, different ways to say the same thing. Like, I think it was getting way overblown. I think the whole entire contract stipulation, the 4 hours monitored, all that stuff, was being completely overblown as to how big of a deal it was for Kyler and the Arizona Cardinals. That's just me. I know I'm in the minority there, but now that it's taken out, nothing changes for me, whether he has to, whether he doesn't have to, whether it's in the contract, whether it's out of the contract. Nothing changes for me about what I think about Kyler Murray and his ability on the football field. You know what actually matters for Kyler Murray and this Arizona football team? The fact that his top wide receiver, DeAndre Hopkins, is suspended for the first 6 games of the NFL season. That actually matters. Not how much time he is spending going through, poring over film at home independently. Because the splits with DeAndre Hopkins on and off the field are massive for Kyler Murray and his career. He makes a good point. Do you think he would have? He's, of course, a preternaturally gifted athlete. He can play baseball and get drafted in the first round. He's the number overall pick at quarterback. So he probably doesn't need to study as much film as a quarterback like Tom Brady because Brady doesn't have the gifts. Brady has to win with his mind. He can win with his mind, with his arm, with his legs. But there's nothing that I've seen from Kyler Murray to this point in his career that says he's not doing enough to reach his potential. That's just my belief.
Really quick, I just want to make a comment. Let's go back a few years with Michael Vick, right? Michael Vick was the last one in the building, first one to leave. And look at what he was able to do because of his athleticism. When you have that kind of athleticism, a lot of times you don't have to put in a study like, let's say, a Tom Brady or a Peyton Manning has to put in. I'm just throwing that out there. I
agree. Of course, Brady and Manning are better quarterbacks, but they have to rely on their brain. That's their only weapon. Kyler Murray can rely on his legs as well as his arm, and if he does develop the brain, it's not that it won't help him. More film study will, but I think he can be a successful quarterback doing what he's doing right now. To me, what matters more is that DeAndre Hopkins is not there for the first 6 games of this season, and that hurts Kyler Murray. We have seen it time and time again. When Hopkins is off the field, Murray struggles. When Hopkins is on the field, Murray balls out. That's what matters most to me this season, not the hours in the film room, whether it's at the practice facility or at home. All right, let's keep it rolling here in the National Football League and keep it on the QB theme. Happy birthday, Dak Prescott. I want to say number 29 for Dak Prescott. Hannah Storm was wishing him a bunch of happy birthdays today on Get Up. Today, talking to the media, Dak says, I plan for this to be a golden year for my Dallas Cowboys. Reaction or no action to a golden year for the Cowboys and their backers in the betting market?
No action here for me, Tyler. You know what? Last year was supposed to be the golden year, but what happened? QB draw, 14 seconds left. No timeout, baby. No good. This is fly, Eagles, fly. This is the Eagles' year in this division for sure. Listen, this offensive line isn't what it used to be because of age and injury. Ezekiel Elliott, in my opinion, is slowing down. Love me some Tony Pollard, by the way, this season in fantasy. On top of that, this offense is too predictable. And oh, by the way, in the last decade, marinating this, the Texans have been the more successful Texas team than the Dallas Cowboys. Marinating that for a minute.
Oh my gosh, I am swimming in some of that Italian dressing marinade, and I can't see because it makes sense because the Cowboys perennially underachieve, but to think of the Texans as more successful than the Cowboys, I'm with you, no action. Happy birthday, Dak, but I'm sorry to, kind of spit on the cake while you're trying to blow out the candles there. I think you have the best quarterback in the division, but I think you're the second best roster in the division behind the Philadelphia Eagles. Last year, I think you're right, was supposed to be that golden year. It didn't come to fruition. Now your roster goes from one that was the best in the division in 2021. You lose Amari Cooper, Cedric Wilson, Lyle Collins, Randy Gregory. That's a significant talent drain, especially on the offensive side, with 2 wide receivers and a bookend tackle to protect Dak Prescott. So, yeah, I don't see a golden year here. I'm kind of staying away. Not betting on or betting against because, again, quarterback trumps everything, and Dak's the best in that division, but the Eagles have a better roster from top to bottom. So for me, it's no action. I'm just staying away from the NFC East altogether, and if I had to bet on season-long props for Dak, I would bet unders because losing all that offensive talent doesn't make that side of the ball better going into 2022. Finally, Tommy Brady does 50 hours of independent film study a week. So says Jeff Darlington on Get Up this morning. Brady lost his center yesterday in practice. Ryan Jensen, one of the best in the business, who suffered a significant knee injury, will be out for multiple months. So reaction or no action to Brady now having Ali Marpet retire this offseason, Alex Kappa going to the Cincinnati Bengals, the other starting guard, and Ryan Jensen out for multiple months before the season even starts. Reaction or no action to Brady and the Bucks and betting on him and that team this year?
Huge reaction. Huge reaction. Ryan Jensen going down is such a bigger hit to this Bucks offense and Tom Brady than, let's say, a Mike Evans going down, okay? Jensen was the first player that Tom Brady called when he decided to come back out of retirement. What do we know about Tom Brady? Dude loves a clean pocket. He doesn't have the ability to scramble like a few of the, like Murray, who we were just talking about with the Arizona Cardinals. Therefore, how does he have success? That clean, beautiful pocket that he likes to step into. He likes to get his 3.5 seconds from snap to, throwing that pass. That's not going to happen, especially with the defenses and the defensive lines. And twice they have to go up against the Saints this season, and the Saints already have their number. And what we know about Tom Brady is when he is under pressure, no bueno. He is one of the worst quarterbacks with a 52% completion percentage in the NFL when he is under pressure. So this is a huge reaction. This is a huge hit to Tom Brady in that offense.
Agree wholeheartedly with what you say. I say no action, completely acknowledging that if there is any kryptonite that Tom Brady has, It is pressure specifically up the middle. Not so much from the edges, but if he gets pressure in his face and you take him off of his spot and ruin his timing, that's how you make Tom Brady look mortal. And losing both his starting guards and now his starting center, that is significant. But I say no action because this is still Tom Brady. No one gets the ball faster. No one processes defenses better. And luckily for the Buccaneers, this injury happened in July, and they still have 5 weeks to try and find an alternative, whether it's somewhere on the team or somewhere outside the team. I will give Brady the benefit of the doubt that he will be able to work around whatever offensive line he has in front of him, with Chris Godwin being back earlier than expected, it appears, and Julio Jones joining Mike Evans.
Like the great Herm Edwards used to say right here on ESPN, you can't walk into Walmart and buy an offensive lineman. Good luck, Tyler. Not gonna happen, dude. Not gonna happen.
The offensive line will not be better with Ryan Jensen. It will be worse. But Tom Brady, I think, knows how to make it work with an inferior offensive line. I'm going to give him that benefit of the doubt. Maybe finally Father Time catches up with him and he does struggle. But from what we've seen from Brady last year, I think he'll get the ball out quickly if pressure is coming and design an offense that gets the ball. Maybe doesn't take as many deep shots, but gets the ball out quickly to all those weapons that they have. So I say no action, but I completely, 1,000% agree with what you're saying, that offensive line is a problem for Tom Brady. All right, let's welcome our buddy Eric Moody into Bet on this Friday. Always a good solution to bring Eric Moody into the conversation. He likes to dabble in the prop market just like we do, Anita Marks. And so what the trio here is going to do is give our favorite season-long player props at quarterback, running back, and wide receiver. And Eric, you are our guest du jour today. So we're going to have you go first in each category. Let's start with quarterback. What is your favorite over-under, to be anything, yards, touchdown passes, season-long QB prop in the NFL?
All right, well, let's dive in. I would say my favorite passing yard player prop for the over is Russell Wilson. And here's why. I look at it this way. The Broncos didn't trade for Russell Wilson to have him hand off to Javonte Williams or Melvin Gordon, like for the entire season. They didn't do that. Denver has struggled at the quarterback position since Peyton Manning retired at the end of the 2015 season. On the other side, you look at Wilson. He's prospered in the Seahawks' run-heavy offensive scheme. Let's rewind the clocks back to 2016. So since 2016, Wilson ranked 8th in completions, 6th in passing yards, and 3rd in touchdowns for a Seattle offense that was 31st in total pass attempts over that time frame. Now, if you look at the high-flying AFC West in 2022, Wilson should have ample opportunities to cook with the playmakers that he has in Denver. I like the over here.
All right, I'm going with Trey Lance over 10.5 interceptions on the season. Listen, I've been fading him. I still can't wrap my head around the fact that the 49ers are going to move forward with him as the starting quarterback. North Dakota State, I keep on saying it, subpar comp, not ready for the NFL right now. Maybe in 2 to 3 years, but not ready right now. Kyle Shanahan's system requires immediate, quick progression. He just doesn't have it right now. He still needs some more seasoning. On top of that, the offensive line, they lost a lot of key players. Alec Mack in the interior. And we still don't know what's going on with Deebo Samuel, especially after the contract that Metcalf just signed. And the 49ers, they are strapped capped. So how are they going to make Deebo Samuel happy? They're going to have to cut as opposed to sit there and wait to try to trade Jimmy G. It is a not so great situation for the 49ers. Over 10.5 interceptions for Trey Lance. He is just not ready.
Yeah, I like both of those. Anita, you know I differ vehemently with you when it comes to Trey Lance, but I actually like that because I do think he will be good, but will still throw a few interceptions as part of the growing pains. He'll access a ceiling in that offense with his legs, push the ball deeper downfield than Jimmy G, but he is still just a sophomore QB, and I do kind of like him having at least 11 interceptions, but still being good enough to get them in the playoffs and make them more dangerous than Jimmy G. All right, I'm going to stay in the NFC West with defending Super Bowl champion Matt Stafford, my guy. Over 34.5 passing touchdowns for Stafford. Last year, first year with Sean McVay, he threw 41. He also threw 17 interceptions, but 41 touchdown passes. So he could theoretically be about 20% worse as far as touchdown production in 2022, his second year with Sean McVay, and still cash the over here. I think he'll be better. I think McVay and Stafford are cooking up all kinds of drop-back game. He and Cooper Kupp's relationship should be stronger. He gets the big body, jump ball wide receiver he likes on the perimeter and Allen Robinson. And there's a lot of questions about the Rams' run game with Darrell Henderson being banged up and Cam Akers coming off that injury and not looking productive or efficient in the postseason. So 34.5 for a guy who threw 41 last year, year one in the McVay offense. That's my favorite QB prop of this season. Also a little biased there, but again, I think it's a sharp play with Stafford as long as he stays healthy. All right, Eric, back to you in the backfield with a running back. Favorite prop you got for 2022?
Well, I'm going to go with Mr. Joe Mixon here, over in rushing yards. I think he's being overlooked by a lot of bettors. So since 2019, you look at Mixon. He's averaged 18 rushing attempts and 72.9 rushing yards per game. Looking at this past season, he's set career highs for both rushing attempts and rushing yards. Now, the fact that he accomplished this despite a suboptimal offensive line in Cincinnati makes it even more impressive. Now, during the offseason, the Bengals have upgraded the offensive line, which should provide ample running lanes for Mixon this year. But in 2 of the last 3 seasons, he's played 16 games, and he's rushed for over 1,100 yards. It's going to be another monster season for Mixon in 2022. I like the over here.
I love me some A.J. Dillon this season with the Green Bay Packers. Over rushing yards for him, and this is below 800. He had 800 last year. I expect him to take a step forward this year due to 6 foot, 247, 4.5 yards per carry, 3.3 yards after contact. One of the best stats in the NFL. He is just one of the league's best pure rushers out there. And I know you're sitting back and going, wait a minute. It's Aaron Jones's backfield, more so in the passing game. And with the fact that Devontae Adams is not there, I think they're going to be more committed to running the football. And I think it's just going to be a huge year for A.J. Dillon. So over rushing yards for him. I love this prop bet.
Yeah, Anita, that's in my top 5 as well. I see exactly what you see with Green Bay. I don't think they're going to lean on Aaron Rodgers much. I think they're going to rely on a dominant defense and a dominant run game and running back duo with A.J. Dillon and Aaron Jones to win a lot of football games. And then when they need to break glass in the fourth quarter in case of emergency, Rodgers will do his MVP thing. But I love that one as well. I think Dillon's in for maybe 1,000 yards this season. All right, mine is Josh Jacobs in Las Vegas. I'm going under for Josh Jacobs, 725.5 yards. And you may think that's crazy because he's easily surpassed this in each of his first 3 seasons. But consider this context. His yards per game have gone from 88 to 71 to 58. He's declined steadily all 3 years. The Raiders did not pick up his 5th-year rookie option. And it's now a new regime in Las Vegas that has no ties to Josh Jacobs. Kenyon Drake, who the former regime did bring in, makes the most money in that backfield and has the highest cap hit. And they drafted Zamir White in the 4th round out of Georgia, who has a similar profile as a power back to Josh Jacobs. There is so much competition in that running back room now for Josh Jacobs for touches and carries. And I think the Raiders have made it clear they have no plans to have him part of their future, that I'm going under here thinking maybe he starts the season as the starting tailback. But by week 8, 9, their bye, whenever that is, Zamir White or Kenyon Drake or maybe even Brandon Bolden, a veteran, is getting more time than Josh Jacobs. So I see the trend continuing for Jacobs, the steady decline in production. I'm going under 725.5 because it has been made clear by the money and the choice of that front office, Jacobs is not a part of their future. All right, Eric, wrap us up on the perimeter. I guess we could have thrown tight end as well. Pass catchers. What's your favorite season-long prop for a pass catcher in 22?
For me, it's Juju Smith-Schuster to go over receiving yards. Now, you look at Juju on that Chiefs roster. I'm like, he's the only wide receiver that has a 1,000-yard season on his resume. Now, he's 25 years old now, catching passes from Patrick Mahomes instead of Ben Roethlisberger at the tail end of his career. You look at the Chiefs, really one of the prolific passing offenses in the league. They've averaged 39.5 pass attempts per game over the last 2 seasons. Kansas City also ranks 6th with 1,514 plays with at least 3 wide receivers on the field over that time frame. Furthermore, Mahomes leads the league and targets the slot receivers over the last 2 seasons. since entering the league, Smith-Schuster has prospered from the slot. He could have a career season in 2022 with the Chiefs. I love it.
I like that, especially now that we know that Tyreek Hill is down in Miami. I'm sticking with the Green Bay Packers, and I'm going with Allen Lazard over 5.5 touchdown passes. Why? Dude had 8 last year, and he wasn't even the number one. Devontae Adams was there. He's not there anymore. And with Devontae Adams, the games that Lazard has played where Adams has been out, 20% of the target share. Aaron Rodgers loves this guy, and especially in the red zone, 6'5", 227, boxes out, fights for the ball. This is easy money. Lazard over 5.5 touchdowns.
Yeah, I love both of those. I talked about Allen Lazard's reception prop at 56. I'm smashing that over now that Devontae and his 180 targets are gone. Eric, I cannot love the Juju one more than you do. Same for Allen Robinson. Those two guys have gone from like the outhouse to the penthouse when it comes to quarterback play this year. But I'm going to go with an over for a guy who also is going from kind of the outhouse to definitely the penthouse with quarterbacks, and that is Julio Jones. His yardage prop is only 525.5. And listen, you can sit here and tell me that Julio's old and that Julio is injury prone. And yeah, I think the injury-prone part is fair, but I think because he was such a freak of nature in his athletic career, even at 33 years old, he's still more athletic than 50, 60% of the wide receivers in the NFL. But it's attaching yourself to Tom Brady and the guy who led the NFL in pass attempts, completions, and pass yards last year that has me hammering the over on Julio Jones. I know Mike Evans is there, and I know Chris Godwin may be back earlier than we think, but Rob Gronkowski last year went for 800 yards and 6 touchdowns. And Julio Jones is certainly better than Rob Gronkowski was, or at least we thought coming into that last season after Gronkowski's retirement. So as long as he stays healthy, I think 800 to 900 yards is the most likely outcome. I think he could snip 1,000 if he plays all 17 games. Bottom line is this is a bet on Tom Brady being that good. You disagree with that, Anita?
I've got 2 words for you. Russell Gage. That's who you want to take the over with, Tyler. I mean, come on. I mean, Julio Jones, he'll be lucky if he plays 10 games this season. He is washed up. He is going to be a backup. He's not even going to start, man. Look, case of wine. Case of wine.
Case of
Julio
wine.
Jones doesn't even
Case
play
of
more
wine
than,
whenever
that
you
doesn't
want.
even play more than 10 games this season.
I've got to chime in here.
Yeah, Eric, I want to hear your thoughts, definitely. Break the
I've
tie.
got to chime in here. I'm sitting here taking it all in, but I'm actually going to go with Tyler here. It's just I just don't see where the target's going to come from. It's like Julio's one of those scenarios for where they're going to kind of have him play a game or two early in the season, keep him on ice, and have him ready for the playoffs. That's just how I envision that scenario happening. So I'm with Tyler here. Sorry, Anita.
All right, I'll take it. Hey, I think it'll be a fun one to watch. The potential of Julio and Tom Brady together is certainly enticing, but I get you, Anita. He has been injured a lot, doesn't play 16 games all the time, and is getting older, but I'm trusting his talent and Tom Brady will mesh now that they're in camp together. Eric, we love you, buddy. Thank you for hopping in. Love the season-long props. We will chat again soon before the season kicks off right here on Bet. All right, Anita, let's turn our attention now to Diamond Dollars. Do we really have to?
No, let's not. Let's not. Let's not do it.
Rough July for us in Diamond Dollars. I think we were hot coming into this month, but now, Anita, you're floating around $62 and I'm under 100. I think for the first time this season. So we need to get back on track in a big way. We got a full slate. That's the good news. A lot of frontline aces on the bump here tonight. Every game pretty much taking place this evening in Major League Baseball around the country. So lay on me your Diamond Dollars card, and I smell some winners out there, Anita. We need it.
Yeah, I love the Brewers tonight. I'm going to put $10 on the Brewers on the run line. Bello, we know, has not been great this season. 0-1 with a 10-13 ERA, 12 innings, and given up 14 earned runs, 22 hits. Boston has been outscored 25-10 in his 3 starts. Meanwhile, for the Brewers, Woodruff, 3.93 ERA, 2 or fewer earned runs in 8 of his last 9 starts. He's been dealing. And also, as we know, the Brewers have a better bullpen than Boston. And then I'm going to play a $25 parlay on both the Dodgers on the run line and Verlander. The Dodgers, why? Is no mercy rule against the Rockies, that's for sure. That's going to be in full effect tonight. And for Verlander, over 7.5 strikeouts. He's hit that in his last 3 starts, and he has been dominant against Seattle, the Seattle Mariners. 18 starts for him, by the way, this season for Verlander, 117 strikeouts. So because I just, you're not getting good value in regard to single-handedly betting those, I'm going to put them in a parlay. So that's how I'm playing it, $25 parlay.
This is why I love you, girl, because you're down to $62, yet you're wagering $35. More than half of your bankroll on the line here tonight. Can't win big if you don't bet big, Anita Marks. That is why I love you. I got just one bet. Try and get back on track, but it's a same-game parlay, which I've been leaning into here in the dog days of summer with Toronto pitcher and ace Alek Manoah against the Detroit Tigers, one of the worst offenses in Major League Baseball. They're 29th in OPS, dead last in homers, dead last in slugging. They have a 253 WOBA and a 106 ISO against right-handed pitching. If you don't know, those are the bottom of the barrel as well. Manoah needs to earn the win, go at least 6 1/3, and strike out 6 Tigers. If he does that, my $15 wager returns $57.30. So Manoah, 11-4 record, 2.24 ERA, whip under 1, 23% K rate. He's an all-star for a reason. He's their ace. Need him to act like it tonight against an awful Detroit offense.
And make sure you save that $57 and whatever cents to buy my case of wine for your losing.
I'm telling you, come
Julio
January, you're going to go, I should have known Tom Brady and Julio Jones was going to work out. Let's stay on the diamond here. Long ball, long shots really quick as we're wrapping up our baseball convo. Any player out there you want to wager to go deep tonight?
Yeah, give me Gary Sanchez to go long. Right? Why not? He's got 10 home runs on the season, but guess what, Tyler? He hasn't had one in 15 games. What does that mean? He's due. And whenever we talk about long ball, long shots, I like to look at batters and history against opposing pitchers. And against Blake Snell, 20 at-bats, he's got 6 hits, and count them, 5 home runs. So just, a number of things. A, the dude's due, and B, he's got a lot of success against Snell. So I'm going Gary Sanchez tonight.
Yeah, I'm leaning into the same handicapping. It's Jose Altuve at plus 360 against Robbie Ray of the Seattle Mariners. Okay, first off, Altuve crushes left-handed pitching. This season, he's got a 701 slugging percentage and a 449 WOBA. He's homering every 9 at-bats against lefties this season. He's got 9 homers and 78 at-bats, something crazy like that. And then against Robbie Ray specifically, Anita, these are his slash numbers against Robbie Ray and 19 career at-bats. 579 batting average, 652 on base, 1158 slugging. That's an 1810 OPS. That's like if you put Barry Bonds and Babe Ruth and Shohei Ohtani all in the same body. That's how well Jose Altuve hits Robbie Ray. He's gone deep twice in 19 plate appearances. So again, right around a homer every 9.5 at-bats. I'll bank on those stats and that history of Altuve against Robbie Ray in the comfy confines of his home park. All right, that's going to do it for our wagers here on Bet. But we got about 90 more seconds before we go here, Anita. I don't know if you can in New York or New Jersey, but the Mega Millions is up to $1.28 billion. So have you bought a ticket? And if you have, Anita, what will you be spending your $1.2 billion on?
So, by the way, I have 10 friends. We all put in $100. So we bought 1,000 tickets. And if we win, we're going to split it 10 ways. So I am in on it. And if I was to win, I'd be knocking on the door of Gail Benson saying, "Hey, Gail, sell me the Saints. I want to own an NFL team."
I love that. Great to own the Saints in a city like New Orleans where the fan base is so savage, I should say. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm either going to buy a whole dang golf course or buy luxury homes on the following golf courses: Summit Club in Las Vegas, Boulder Country Club in Boulder, Colorado, St. Albans Country Club in my hometown of St. Louis, and Pinehurst No. 2, which I just played in Pinehurst, North Carolina. And then, Anita, once I win my Julio Jones bet with you, I will send you as a winner with all of my money an entire case of Screaming Eagle, Stag's Leap, any wine that you want, you will get as a good gesture from me winning that bet. All right, love you, girl. That's going to do it for our Friday edition of Bet. Everyone have a great week, and we'll see you back here on Monday.